Hi, Right Writers, Cruz here. By the end of this video, you will hopefully make a decision on whether this Common App essay prompt is right for you. And hopefully also by the end of this video, you will have more of an idea on what to write about and how to help construct your rough draft on this particular essay prompt. Please keep in mind, Right Writers, that we're looking at anywhere from 550 to 650 words with these Common App essay prompts. So for this particular prompt, this prompt is asking, reflect on a time when you questioned or challenged a belief or idea. What prompted your thinking and what was the outcome? I think the challenging part in this particular prompt, and just something to think about, is you need to be specific as far as what it is you challenged. What type of belief or what idea did you actually challenge? So I'm going to make a note of that for you to think about. Be specific about the idea and or belief that you challenge. And so this is what I mean about being vague. Well, I had a parental conflict or a conflict with my grandparents. That's not specific. What is it about what conflict did you have with your parents that ultimately, where you ultimately challenged or questioned your parents about this? Be specific, and by the end of this video I will give you an example of something that I challenged and questioned, and again I will be writing about in a future video. Thinking about, well, I had a situation where I had a religious conflict or I challenged a religious belief. Okay, what specific religious belief? So we've got to be specific about what we're talking about. What specific religious belief did you challenge? So, and again, belief or idea, and with thinking about your parents, what specific, idea, what specific idea did you challenge or did you question your parents about? When you're thinking about parental conflict or even like a generational conflict. So I'll include that sort of in that parent or generational conflict. Another idea that comes to mind is, again, maybe a political belief. But again, be specific. What specific political belief did you challenge? And, I hate to sort of, well, I'm going to say it because this is exactly what not to do. Well, I grew up in a house full of liberals and then I became a conservative. Or I grew up in a house full of Republicans and I became a Democrat. Or both, my dad was a Democrat, my mom was a Republican, and I became an independent, or I became part of the Libertarian Party. That's not really specific. I mean, it can be if you expand upon it and talk about how that might have shifted generational conflicts within the house. But again, I think just being the concern that I have with this, Right Writers, is that we try not to be casual about it, because I think it's easy to sort of be dismissive and casual about these experiences. And so if it's just, a matter of a political party, well, that's not really saying anything. You need to be specific in how that impacted, how you lived, the household. Did it impact the conversations that you had at the dinner table? Did it create separations, or factions within the household? I mean, that's now being more specific about how that may have, shifted the entire dynamic within your household. So just be very careful, right, writers, in not, again, being dismissive or cavalier about these ideas. Um, the another example would be a cultural conflict. And again, what specific conflict? What specific cultural conflict did you challenge or belief? So, right, writers, these are just some very, again, general examples that I offer to you to think about as you're thinking about this. With respect to cultural idea, because again, I kind of went through all of them, and I'll give an example also of religious. So, with respect to a cultural idea, I think if you are a student who is what I call, a bicultural student, meaning you were born and raised in the United States, but your parents were born and raised in a different country, that you're definitely going to have some cultural clashes, and you're probably going to have some parent and generational clashes as well. So again, this is what I mean by, again, cultural differences, because even though we may not really think about it, sometimes as a teacher, I can definitely see the cultural clashes between parent and child when they were born and raised in two different societies or two different types of cultures. That, that's when we see some questioning and some challenging happening within the household. With respect to religious beliefs, maybe again your parents raised you in a certain denomination, and you decided that you wanted to basically become an agnostic, or you changed religious beliefs entirely and went to maybe you went from Catholic to Lutheran, or Lutheran to Catholic, or Baptist to Methodist. Those are some ideas. Maybe again you chose the agnostic path. Those are examples of religious beliefs that again could be something you question or challenge. Again, there are other types of belief systems as well. You could think about a social belief system, because sometimes we find ourselves maybe we are from a high income household, and we decide that money is not the answer to all of our problems. So again, even sort of a social or economic belief system that we were brought up in, those are some other ideas that may come to mind when thinking about these specific, again, ideas or beliefs that you might challenge. Again, right, writers, this one is challenging because it's challenging not just because you're challenging a belief, but also because, again, you need to be specific. You need to, again, it's asking you what prompted your thinking. At what point, what was the trigger that made you go, no, I don't believe this anymore? What triggered that? What was the trigger? And then again, what was the outcome? How, maybe it's still unresolved. We won't know until we actually read your essay. And so I offer these as ideas. Now let's go to the Common App essay PDF that they offer in looking at this particular prompt. So again, I will provide this link for you to review on your own as well and have access to. And so this is particular, again, with this particular essay prompt. And here's what they said to think about. They said, think about anywhere you spend time: school, clubs, work, home, places, or place of worship, everyone you interact with, friends, teammates, family, teachers, coaches. And ask yourself, did the experience clarify or change my values? What was the impact on my relationships? Did I surprise myself or anyone else? So, again, right, writers, this is a prompt. It's one of many, and I encourage you to make a decision on finding the prompt that best suits your abilities to stand out as an applicant. Right, writers, I hope this video was helpful and useful to you. And again, be thinking for your rough draft 550 to 650 words. And I think I mentioned that I was going to bring up a challenge or idea that I will be talking about in my own rough draft. And one of the ideas or challenges that I made a decision on at a very young age is for me, right, writers. So I chose not to have children. I challenged the idea, of what does it mean to be a woman and to be, of Latin descent and choosing not to have children. That's something that I decided very early. And this is, if I were choosing this prompt, that would be what I would write about. That's going to be what I'm going to talk about when I do my rough draft on this one. So thank you so much, Right Writers, for watching this video. And again, I hope this video was helpful to you. Take care, Right Writers. All right, bye-bye.